Guys, let's dive on in. RHIT versus MU. The last day of groups. These teams' last chance to make it into the top 8 bracket in 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring on the bots. RHIT Sentry
into the high ground with Omni Wheels.
Makes it up to the middle of the high ground.
Oh, meanwhile, Standard getting bullied by Nagoya, having to go back to reload. Hero up there behind that barricade, trying to put some rounds.
The sentry for RHIT has locked onto the other robots, and it's starting to launch projectiles. You can see the ammo count in the top left-hand corner ticking down. 50 projectiles launched. Not very many of them hitting. But
meanwhile, Standard getting back onto the field. A very quick rollout, taking out Nagoya's Standard, moving onto their sentry, trying to make space, really playing around the sentry, staying out of the Hero's line of sight. Nagoya having a hard time pushing off that RHIT Standard.
Really, RHIT Standard is carrying the team a little bit right now. The Hero still yet to launch a projectile, maybe having a...
Oh, Nagoya Hero's in trouble. Nagoya Hero is in serious trouble, and he's down. Nagoya Standard not moving despite having been revived. Is his turret fallen over? Look at his turret. Look at Nagoya's turret. Nagoya's turret has fallen over.
I mean, they're still in it. RHIT playing this game with effectively one bot. They're
you know what?
For the sentry.
I think their IMU might be on board their gimbal, which makes them hard. It makes it almost impossible to drive. Not only are they having a hard time seeing, but they're also having a hard time navigating sentry. Nagoya pushing back Standard RHIT. Ooh, that was a close fight, but RHIT backs off. Hopefully Standard from RHIT can secure the kill because Nagoya is not retreating.
The sentry for Nagoya actually overheated in that fight. What prevented them from finishing the kill.
RHIT getting some shots on Nagoya, and he gets it.
The sentry from the top of the elevated platform takes down the sentry from Nagoya. And now RHIT pushing in, gets another kill, earning a lot of their points, but the game very close, still within 20. The sentry for RHIT doing a lot of damage, takes the Hero down.
And they take point priority now. This is the first time I think RHIT has had point priority because that sentry's been alive for a very long time. Even with that Standard down, RHIT lost a lot of points from that initial push from Nagoya. They need to maintain control over this point if they want to win that back. Looks like they're doing a very good job about it, though.
The sentry for RHIT, the difference maker in this match.
Oh, yeah,
RHIT really playing with just one Standard. Nagoya playing with only their Hero. The sentry for RHIT tipping the scales in the favor of the Thornbots.
Looks like Nagoya's sentry not able to go back to respawn after being destroyed initially. RHIT capitalizing on that Nagoya Standard that is unable to revive itself.
The Hero lands a shot from Nagoya, but it's too little too late as the Thornbots take round one.
An unfortunate malfunction from Nagoya. They're going to have to put that head on as soon as possible. As we said, this is a very decisive match for Nagoya. If they lose this next round, they are not making it out of groups likely. Very catastrophic failure for Nagoya. They had a really good position, especially we saw those victory points that they had garnered from taking that point early, but that sentry not being able to retreat and that Standard going down, it was just Hero versus the entirety of RHIT.
Absolutely. Chat, this was a really interesting game. Obviously, Nagoya had one of their robots decapitated a little bit. It's being rolled back there on the right side of your screen, back to the resupply zone, see if they can get it fixed and ready for round two. They do have a technical timeout. I believe this is their last match of the group stage, so they may as well use it. So we'll probably be here for a few minutes as they try and fix that up. On the other side of the field, RHIT severely underperforming. We talked so much praise about this Hero and its excellent design and its singular purpose, and then it was unable to fire a single projectile in the match. It took them over 2 minutes to figure out that if you have a robot that can't shoot, it should sit in the middle. It sat in that corner trying to shoot for over a clock minute. Hopefully they've, figured it out from this round. They will make it out of groups regardless of what happens in this game. So this is a good learning opportunity for that team. But obviously mechanical mishap and also strategic misplay on the side of RHIT. Unfortunately for Nagoya, that decapitation keeping them from being able to capitalize on RHIT's misstep.
And we saw the same performance yesterday with RHIT, that Hero staying in the back line with the aggressive Hero being something of a standard here. or something of a meta here in the match, in the field this year. Having those aggressive robots able to take and hold that point is so pivotal. Those backline robots not really doing too much this year. If they go up again, if they get out of, they're going to get out of groups, but if they get out of groups, they face those other teams getting out of their groups that are playing that aggressive, that have those fast heroes that joust and hunt down and follow through with kills and hold the point. Most importantly, I think RHIT is going to have a hard time once they get out of groups.
Maybe. Their sentry looked good, and we now know that their sentry, and the rest of the teams know that their sentry has multiple positions that it can go to.
Yeah.
That now you have to be worried with a lot of these AI robots, right? With the sentries that are completely controlled autonomously, that are doing all of their own decision making. It's easiest to have the robot learn how to do one decision. Say, hey, we're going to go through the maze, go to the center point. If you get to have health, go back. Apparently, RHIT has a different sets of protocols they can utilize. Yeah. They have a go to the center point and hold it. They also have a go to the elevated platform. RHIT has the potential to be this really like ADC styled, like having an attack damage carry, where the standard is fully supported by 2 protected bots. Your hero's behind the short wall, your sentry's behind the elevated wall, and now your standard is in the middle, but he's got so much cover fire from invincible bots. Yeah,
and I would like to see, on the point of Sentry being in that high ground, we saw Sentry putting some rounds in the center of the field, but I wasn't seeing quite enough damage on target from that RHIT Sentry. If they can't capitalize on that high ground advantage, I'm not sure if it's even worth it. It might be better to put it on the point.
We're diving straight into round 2. NAGOYA not using their timeout.
Yeah, that is an interesting point. They didn't field their standard.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't have a head.
NAGOYA.
They would have been close in the last game, even without that standard, if it frankly just wasn't there for spawn killing.
That's
RHIT
true.
had gotten 6 kills.
But they've learned from their mistakes. RHIT rolling out very quickly, taking that point priority and pushing back their hero. RHIT Sentry also up into position.
NAGOYA's first hero shot lands, but only counts as a standard projectile.
Yeah, and they're being aggressive now.
Another 2 projectiles land.
Yellow card from that collision.
Oh no, that would have taken out the standard from RHIT if those NAGOYA hero shots had landed at the correct angle or velocity.
Yep, and now we see their barrel is back to the cool temperature it needs to be to fire, but they're not putting rounds on target. That hero right in front of them, that standard right in front of them.
Critically though, NAGOYA having control of the center point. They're overheated. They're locked in. The standard and hero for RHIT not firing. If this holds, NAGOYA will just win.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with RHIT's robots here, but if we see this in future matches, it's not going to be great. You know, you should be able to push back the hero here as it's sitting there rotating rather slowly comparatively to your robots. But also, we see NAGOYA putting rounds on.
Okay, this is the moment right here. NAGOYA, they're starting to take damage. This is the Sentry from RHIT again, clutching up for their team. When the human-driven bots can't fire, the Sentry dealing damage, taking the hero down to half health. NAGOYA doing a good job. They don't have any projectiles. They're at half HP, but they need to just sit. They have to stay on the point. If they leave this point, they will almost certainly lose the game. They don't have the DPS to take both these bots out.
Yeah.
No, NAGOYA gets pushed out of the corner.
NAGOYA didn't have point priority for the majority of that fight. RHIT maintained point priority that entire time because both robots were on the field.
All right, NAGOYA gets back into the center, but because they left that center block, RHIT now has priority. NAGOYA was able to get 80 points of priority in that first minute of the game, but now RHIT has control, and it should be almost impossible for NAGOYA to get it back.
Yeah, why aren't they able to secure the kill here? RHIT really struggling with their shooting mechanisms. Yes, there it goes. Looks like...
I believe it's the Sentry that still finished it off. All 10 hero projectiles still in RHIT's hopper. At this point, NAGOYA might as well go back and get ammo, right? They need to heal, they can get ammunition, and see if they pull off some miracle with the hero, but they will need to kill both RHIT bots within the next 2 minutes at the same time because they have to get both of those RFID cards offline.
Ooh, if they can roll out quickly, hero going back to the reload zone to heal up. This is an interesting move by RHIT, given that they cannot put damage on target. So NAGOYA, if they can get on there,
overpowered by NAGOYA's hero will prevent them from getting back in time. I think that was a pretty big misplay by RHIT, but again, not being able to be punished.
Oh, and again, they're trading off. Oh, you got ejected.
that'll be it.
Nagoya, yeah.
There are no bots left on the side of Nagoya to compete. That was a shove that the refs have deemed as a second yellow card and ejected from the game the hero from Nagoya.
Yeah, definitely cracking down on the rule of no shoving for these matches here. We saw several pretty aggressive movements last night from the teams that were ramming bots into one another and whatnot. Looks like they're really starting to crack down because of some damage that some of the teams have sustained.
Chat calling out there was a message, a bounty put out in Discord over the last 2 days for any team whose sentry could get to the middle of the high ground. And that was claimed by RHIT, so they've cashed in a nice little chunk of change from one of the ARC alumni students who put that bounty up. But that's really the biggest win from this game. A fairly poor performance out of RHIT, and then just a big mechanical oof for Nagoya that's going to prevent them from being able to capitalize on RHIT's
mishaps.
They're